everybody, and welcome back to the United Stand. Manchester United 3, Burnley 2, just by the skin of our teeth. Thank God for that last-minute penalty. But what an interesting game at Old Trafford. And do you know what? Starting off on a positive note, there was goals, and there's a lot to break down. I'm in a much better mood now than I was about 30 minutes ago, I'll put it that way. I don't know what, just before we scored that goal anyway. I am joined with Kev, he's back on the forum.
Thank you.
Mordzs, and Ricky, you are back as well. At least we're all coming back to a win. First win of the season, right?
Yeah. United are back. bit too early to say that, is it? I don't know. I'm being sarcastic, obviously, but wow, what a game. Listen, it's Burnley. We can say whatever we want to. If you dissect the game and look at it, I think it was absolutely vital that United had to win this game today. It seems crazy, especially after the Burnley game midweek, to be going into your third game of the Premier League season. The manager is under huge pressure. I'm sure he's under no illusion of the pressure that is on him. But to win it in that fashion, you can look back to the Sir Alex Ferguson days, whatever. But I think there is a lot. I think there's positives, but at the same time, there's a lot of question marks that we can look at today in terms of player performances, the manager. But for me today, if United, let's say worst case scenario, would have lost this, I think there's no doubt. Ruben Amorim could have been walking at this time now. He might have offered his resignation. It just keeps us ticking along, but huge confidence to get 3 points. And yes, I know, it's only Burnley, the mentality, this, that, but by God, we needed that today.
Do you know what? I echo what you say, Kev, in the sense of it's 3 points, and that's what I'm absolutely buzzing about, but I cannot ignore the fact we were on the cusp of yet again dropping points. And I still think there is massive problems. I've seen people, and fair enough, celebrate, because I was celebrating as if we just beat Barcelona 3-2 in the Champions League. Burnley are probably going to go down. Burnley, you know, they're a championship side. And there was moments in the game where I thought they were going to go on and win. Okay, yeah, I think we deserve the win. And I think we should have been up more in the first half. But how many times have we heard this? We should have been 4-0 up. We should have been 5-0 up. Look at our XG. Look at how many shots we had. Are they the right shots? Is it the right pattern of play in the final third? Are we creating the best chances? Or is it just moments? And that's, for me, I'm like, we should have been 4-0 up. We should have been 4-0 up. People say that, but when are we actually ever? We're not. So I still think there is problems. Happy with the 3 points, and it just gives us a bit of breathing room for now. I mean, Mordzs, you've been very critical of Ruben Amorim as of late, and I think, you know, you have every right to have your concerns. Did any of your concerns get put to bed in that game or not?
I wouldn't put Amorim on today. I wouldn't say that today is, you know, we only just about won because of Amorim, whatever. Like, I think in that first half we should have. I know you can say, yeah, we should have done this, we should have done that, but we should have been a few more goals up. I mean, we only 1 goal up. We should have been at least.
I hear it every week, Mordzs.
I know, I say the exact same thing, but it's just the truth though. Like, I can't really put that on Amorim to be like, why didn't he do this in the first half? Why didn't he do that? Because realistically, what we did in the first half should have resulted in us being in a better position going into the second half, and then, you know, going on and finishing and winning the game in a more easier, comfortable fashion. But like in terms of Amorim, yeah, there are a couple things that, you know, I can say maybe his subs weren't the best sub, and you know, at the right times or the right plays to come on for certain players. I think maybe Mount was injured, so I don't really know exactly what was going on there, but there are a couple of things you can say you could have done a bit better. But in general, I just think the players went out there with a I don't know, the playing style to kind of win that game, and they actually did play in a way that should have won that game. So we did get lucky in the end. Don't get twisted, we did very well get lucky, but we should have got the 3 points.
You make your own luck in this game.
Yeah.
I mean, David's very happy in the comments. He's put a very, very generous super chat in saying, "Good night all, mark my words, we are back."
Why not?
King David, is that why King David's going off in the chat? Is David been giving out a lot of memberships or super chats or whatever? I mean, I hope you're right, but Ricky, are people getting carried away with the win, or did you see signs that there's stuff to build on there?
It was a massively important win.
Massively.
So much so that I was chanting Bruno's name before he scored his pen for the first time since
Stay tuned for that one. That's going on social media.
Bruno. I was so relieved when he scored it. Sorry, did I see? I did see some good signs. Yeah, I thought we played some decent stuff at times. They played all right as well, so it wasn't all us. But I did think that we looked a little bit better. And like Kev said a couple of times, you know, it is only Burnley, but at the same time, we only played Grimsby the other night and we got beat. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a bad performance overall. There was some good stuff, and there was one or two rather weird things, if you like, if that's the right word. Like obviously Kuna, how much was Kuna? 50, 60 million. Let's be honest, we looked a bit better when Zirkzee came on for it.
You're joking.
Oh, come on, man.
You're joking.
I thought we looked better, yeah.
Played well, to be fair.
I thought
Cunha was good when he was...
Yeah, he was playing all right, but I just think the way Zirkzee plays and brings the ball in and you know, lays it off well and all that, and Kuna runs with it more. Different style of players. I just thought we looked a better team after Zirkzee came on almost instantly.
Do you think in one side of it, you look at it and Zirkzee is more of a striker than Cunha. Cunha's a number 10, he's being played out of position, he should be carrying the ball upfield. Zirkzee is, you know, he's a striker. I know people think he should play in the 10, but he's a striker mainly. So you're playing more of a striker. That might have been something to think about of why it might have impacted the game a little bit. I personally thought Cunha was doing really well, and
he was doing fine. He was doing fine.
You're
misinterpreting what I'm saying. As a team, I felt we looked better. I thought we popped the ball around better after Zirkzee came on.
So you think that in my opinion, the first like 15, 20, maybe even 30 minutes, that was the best part of the game for us. I think we created the most chances. We probably should have. I can't remember what minute we scored, but I think when Mbeumo had some great chances. Even Cunha had a decent chance where he shot that side of the box, but he had a good chance. I think we're moving the ball a lot better in that final third. I think Ahmad was the link-up play between Cunha and Ahmad and Mbeumo, and even on the other side with Mount and whoever else to play, and Luke Shaw and even like Dalot at some points. I thought we actually played the best football in the first 20, 30 minutes, and I think after that it kind of slowed up. In my opinion, I feel like
I thought we started.
I don't think Zirkzee was a problem, by the way. I have no problem with Zirkzee. I think he came on and did all right, in my opinion. But
it's Roy Keane would say he's just done his job.
Yeah, he did his job. I
don't think he was a world beater. I think Zirkzee's been built up to be. I think because the standards are that low. When you see Zirkzee do something, sometimes you're like, oh my God, that's unbelievable. But we've got technicians in these number 10 roles now, and in fairness to Cunha as well. The injury, you know, it doesn't look great. You know, is it a hamstring? Obviously, we've got the international break coming up, so that'll obviously eat into the kind of time that he's going to be away. But Zirkzee always plays in his preferred position. You could argue that Cunha today is playing in a kind of position as kind of a false nine. So we're accommodating him in a way. But again, there's so many questions because you're like, well, we've just spent 70 odd million on Sesko. Why is he not starting? And why, you know, there is so many questions. We've got away with it today. We've got the result. And you quite rightly say that even midweek, we had 30 odd attempts. You know, we are not putting the ball in the back of the net. Today we have, and we've kind of got away with it. But why have we spent this money on this striker if he's not even ready? You know, midweek, he's taking the 10th penalty in a shootout. You know, and surely this lad's bread and butter. He's a goal scorer.
Yeah, that's my thing. My whole conversation when it comes to Zirkzee is, it's fine. If Amorim wants to bring him on, that's perfectly fine. No complaints. But what does that mean in terms of Sesko? Does that mean that you prefer Zirkzee, or do you prefer a false nine rather than playing an out-and-out striker? Because in my opinion, I think the difference was when Sesko came on, not to even get onto him, because I don't think it's really his fault, but I think we played better with a false nine. I genuinely feel like we played better in this game, whether it was Mount as a false nine, whether it was Cunha, whether it was Zirkzee. I think we played better football when we had those plays on the pitch compared to Sesko. So I think that's the conversation really, because I feel like Amorim as well, I think he sees that. I think he sees the fact that Zirkzee came on over Sesko, because they both came running out at the same time when Cunha got injured. They both came running out to go and warm up, and he obviously looked and he thought, you know what, who am I going to pick to put on, Sesko or Zirkzee? And he picked Zirkzee. So I feel like he looks at both of those players and thinks, I would rather play a false nine instead of playing an out-and-out striker, right now anyway.
I agree. And I think it worked better for us playing like that, like you said. Yeah. But do you know what it is? And this is why, and this is no shade to Sesko whatsoever, because I actually saw today glimpses of a striker that has a little bit of intuition, knows where to be. And, you know, he looks like he's got a bit of potential there. But this is exactly why I wanted to go for Ollie Watkins. Because Ollie Watkins has been around the block, he knows the Premier League. Okay, yeah, he might not be the best striker in the world, but he knows the Prem. He's going to go straight in. He would have been playing today, starting up front. He can run the channels. He knows how to hold it up. He knows how to bully Premier League defenders, and he will stick the ball in the back of the net.
Go.
But with Sesko, right, I think the reason he's preferring a false 9, the reason he's preferring Zirkzee right now is because he needs time to adapt. He's a young striker who needs to learn. He got a couple good headers in, good spots today. Ran the channels quite well, but you can see he's rusty. He's not used to the pace of the Prem. His touches were a little bit off sometimes because he's not used to the pace of it. And I think he's a bit nervous as well. He's a young striker with attributes. Something, in my opinion, for the future. And that might come this season. It might come after a few games. But I think he's scared to put him straight in because Amorim desperately needs points and he's not ready yet. That's what I think.
Fair enough. But I in a sense, I do agree. My only thing with that is, like, if he's scared to put him in a game like this, like, when is he not going to be scared? Because he's not going to be scared against City or Chelsea, or when we play any other team that's better than Burnley. Because he started him against Grimsby, and again, not to put it on him, but we obviously didn't play that well. Didn't play him today because I'm assuming what people say is because he's scared. So like, when is he not going to be scared then? Because if it's not Burnley, then when is it? What team is it going to be?
I think when he's not under massive pressure, maybe.
But the longer you don't play him, the more pressure he's going to be under to actually perform.
What you need to do is create chances for him. Otherwise, there was absolutely no reason selling Højlund. You could look at this as Højlund part 2. It's almost like we've let Højlund go to Napoli. We bring in Sesko. And then you're like, well, unless you're going to create chances for him, he had the header that you were on about earlier, Ricky, kind of off air, which it's a good ball. He's got a lot to do. It's not like a glaring miss.
Goal if he would have scored.
Oh, it'd have been an absolute kind of worldie of a header. But again, they're feeding off scraps, aren't they? You look at that team, you need to be creating chances, but we haven't had a focal point of this team, and I think even in the crowd today, a lot of people, when Zirkzee's coming onto the pitch, you're looking, Sesko's out there warming up, and you're thinking, again, I'm being highly critical, but I'm saying what other people are saying around me, and it's like, if he's not ready now, why not? You bring him on, you spent a hell of a lot of money on him. You look at Arsenal with Gyökeres. He's even admitted, he's training kind of twice a day now to get up to speed, but he's still started the last 2 games for Arsenal. I don't know. It's a lot of money to spend, and I understand it's hard to lead the line for Manchester United, but what's the worst that could happen? Playing Cunha as the false 9 and Mbeumo, whoever it's going to be, it seems like we've been here before on fan forums where you're talking about square pegs in round holes, and that's exactly what's happening at the minute.
On the going back to the fast flowing football and the better football that we played, I thought our best move in the first half was when Zirkzee headed it to Ahmad, got it back off him, threaded it through to Mbeumo, and Mbeumo squared it, and Ahmad should have scored. I thought it was an absolutely fantastic move. It was virtually an empty net for Ahmad.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was,
it's one instance.
That was obviously after Zirkzee came on. It was a brilliant move, and there was another move as good as that. But I just do think that we played some really good football after he came on.
And what I will say, even in terms of that, in terms of the strike as well. One thing I've noticed about this team anyway is that Mbeumo is clearly the focal point. He's clearly the output. He's when everyone's looking up, whether it's Bruno, Mount, Ahmad or Zirkzee, they're looking up and they're looking for him because he is that focal point. He's the guy who's going to take the ball the furthest up the pitch and drive at the defenders and either create a chance, like you said about the Ahmad chance, or he's going to try and shoot. And which he did have a couple. There was one where Bruno played it to him and he's kind of cut in on his left and he. Good save from the Bravka. There's one where Mount's kind of took a nice little touch, played it to him, and he's kind of like volleyed it on his right, and it's gone past the post. So he is, in my opinion, the focal point for this team. If we were to put a number 9 in, does that mean that we're going to have 2 focal points? I don't think that works. I don't think you can have 2. I think you have one player where he is the guy that you look forward to. Like, look at City. Whoever gets the ball in midfield, when they're looking up, they're looking for Haaland. Because if he's a focal point, you're looking up and you're trying to find him because he's going to get him behind and he's going to be the one that you want to put him behind the defence. If Mbeumo's that player for us, that's probably the reason why Sesko's not got starting every single game.
Well, Ruben Amorim's actually just been asked that question and he's just answered it, so I'll bring it in because it's a good time to bring in that. Ruben Amorim said on Benjamin Sesko, he finished that Grimsby game with cramp and he was really at the limit. That's why we protected him from penalties. And today was also the reason. Josh is also a striker, and I was thinking that Benjamin didn't do 90 minutes in pre-season. He did that on Wednesday, and I am not risking another player. So he's blaming it on injury, but it's an easy cop out, I think. I personally just don't think he wanted to drop Mount, Cunha, Bruno, or Mbeumo. But
yeah, if it's just because he's unfit, fair enough. You know, I'm in the medical team, so I don't know. But
I can't see Cunha being fit with what he's gone off with, but for the next game, so it'll be a big.
No, he'll be out for weeks. It looked like hamstring. It was right in front of me. That and the minute something pings like that, and you see a player, unless it's Bruno, where you look and you think, "Get up, mate! Come on, stop wasting time." You look at Ricky's looking at me so proud there. He's like, "Go on, Kev, get it in." Any dig at Bruno. Match winner today, honestly. I can't wait to watch Ricky's video back later on of him shouting Bruno, Bruno, Bruno. But I will say, I do always feel in this system, it seems mad because we're playing with these so-called 2 number 10s. You would think if it was Mbeumo and Cunha that they would be creating chances. It does go back to the fact that even midweek Sesko looked a bit isolated, and it does give me a bit of deja vu looking back and thinking a lot of people were on Højlund's back, and I'm not sticking up for him one bit. You know, he's obviously moved on now, but I do look and think it's got shades of that. Why is the system not creating chances? And I think the wing back area is so vital to this, because that is your width. You know, you've got Mbeumo, Cunha, but where's these players bombing forward? We're hoping Ahmad will be it. Ahmad's, you know, he's been a bit like this season so far. And Dalot, to me, I don't get it. I know he's got an assist today, but
it's my next point of call, Kev. That the wide areas you've brought me. You've set me up like.
You just might have thrown the ball up, you smash it out the park.
I'm trying to give an analogy of United players, but no one sets each other up, so I can't use it. I can't really use it, to be fair.
It's not one, is it?
Son to Kane, that's a better one, isn't it? But I wish we had an example to use. But I do agree with you, the wide areas are absolutely massive.
Vital.
With Ahmad, I do think the form is temporary, class is permanent. I do think he'll come good. Amorim's just had a little bit of a jibe saying, you know, he loves his players as long as they try everything they can to win and they work hard, even when Ahmad misses the chance that he did. So he kind of threw him under it there. But let's get a few super chats in, and then I want to talk about that and why I think Mbeumo could be crucial to that, to be honest. Sam Price says, I personally think Bruno is a problem as captain. We have George O'Hara saying, great to see you back, Kev. Davide says, Amorim would play Cantona at wing back. Clueless. J Law says, Kev, as a straight man, ever thought about modelling?
Ooh.
Well, I've done a bit in my time, do you know what I mean? We'll see how it goes. I've never had a call about that, in fairness. Not a single one.
Sanjit says, Bruno needs to stop behaving like a child. There is no reason for you to have a spat with a Burnley player right after you score the penalty. I think he's very passionate. Island Boy Trucker says, Anana, man of the match, please let him play this good every match. Friday Night White says, come on, my face aches from shouting at VAR today. Mo360 says, 26 shots and a goalkeeper had to do 1 save. With all the talent in the front, we should be doing better. Mario Rossi says, Ricky, I watched Shaw with a couple of loose headers. Enchanted.
There was a couple of loose headers today.
I was thinking that myself, and I was watching. I thought people were watching that.
Bit of nitpicking.
Enchanted Angel says Zirkzee is a horribly limited player. Need better. Mindful Metabolism said we noticeably slowed down when Cunha went off. Fabian Burgo says, when will you guys get off Amorim's? When will we get you guys back off Amorim on Manu? He's clearly not the player some people bigged him up to be. 2 chances and hasn't nearly done enough to get into that team. Rob McCormick says Mount is different class. Via Share says since Cunha and Mount are injured, we need to 100% sign a midfielder and no loan for Cobby. Wuzzy says Zirkzee is not good as a striker/target man. Even Nicholas Jackson has better finishing and composure than him. His best position is as a 10 or a second striker. Anil Sekshar says many unnecessary long balls and even loss of possession due to poor passing. Even Cunha's injury is due to the impatient long ball. Stefan Line says, why can't we mark players better in our own box, close down better as well? Murio6222 said, we needed that. It was like, I'm not even going to read the rest of that, but good to see Manu get some minutes and end of Anana. Enchanted Angel said, the solution to all of our problems is to switch from a 3-5-2. Is to switch to a 3-5-2. Marlow FC says Sesko looks no better than Højlund and Obi is levels above wasted cash that is so needed in the midfield. Honk the Trumpet says, Amorim doesn't trust the legs in midfield, that's why he's playing a false 9. Mount, Cunha and Mbeumo defend and break fast. I think that's a brilliant super chat, and I think you could be onto something there. And Heights as well in with a super chat. I think that's a great super chat about the legs in the midfield, because although, you know, we got through this game, I still think it was too gappy with Bruno and Casemiro. And what I have noticed, and I think it's a reason why Cunha got injured, is Mbeumo and Cunha are doing a lot of legwork getting back in there, especially Cunha before he got injured. His work rate, his passion, his closing down on the keeper, it's second to none. But I actually thought he was maybe doing a bit too much. I was thinking, if he carries on like that, he's going to get in. The person I was sat with, I said, Cunha's been doing that ever since he came in. He's obviously buzzing to play at Old Trafford. He's trying to work ridiculously hard, do everything he can. And I said, if he carries on like that, he's going to get injured. Next thing you know, he pulls up. And Mount's a little bit similar like that. Rob McCormack just put a chat in there. Mount was class while he was on the pitch. And that's why, for me, it has to be injury why he came off. And I think the reason he gets injured a lot is because constantly running about, constantly putting himself in positions where, you know, injury could be likely, pressing off the scale, and that kind of comes with the territory a little bit. But hopefully both of the injuries aren't too bad on them two. But to talk about the wide players, which I was about to do, what I noticed was, especially, you know, as the game progressed, Mbeumo from the number 10 is pulled in further and further wide. I think touching the wing is probably his best position. He's an outlet there, his crosses are good, and last season he had the most successful crosses in the Premier League. We should be utilising that from the right-hand side, I think. And Ricky, were you going to come in there?
No, just listening to it intently.
You listened to what I was saying?
Intently to what you're saying.
Well, I was saying, I think sometimes him and Ahmad want to kind of play the same position a little bit. Do you guys think that them two can work together as right wing back and kind of right-sided 10? Do you see the partnership growing, or do you think they're too similar?
I think they're too similar to me. Yeah, they both want to operate in the same space. Like I said before the game, didn't I? And I'd love to see Ahmad play. I don't think it's ever going to happen. Who else did we used to have this problem with? We used to have somebody playing on the right who was, Anthony, didn't we? Do you know what I mean? Always on the right and he's left-footed. I don't understand why you can't just give him a try on the left and see how it goes. And Dalot would be better on the right, without any doubt, and Ahmad, I think, would be better on the left.
We're heavily stacked, aren't we, with number 10s now? You kind of look at this team, and I mean, I was absolutely gobsmacked that I'm absolutely delighted that Mbeumo's come through the door, because I think he's an absolute class act. I remember being on holiday and watching the Arsenal game, and within 15-20 minutes of that game, I'm sat there as a disciple of Ricky's, going, Ricky's going to love this guy. And then I've seen you put something out saying he's a class act, and I thought, you know, the things that Ricky loves, you know, keeps the ball well, uses it, you know, pass and move, and go on, Ricky.
When we're talking about them playing with each other, Mbeumo's great at getting it in a little pocket of space just around the corner of the penalty area, and he's got that, he can cut inside to shoot. We don't need another player near him who also wants to cut inside to shoot. So if somebody overlaps him, and he plays that overlapping pass, if Dalot was on that side, Dalot would try and cross it with his right foot, and I believe that's what we should be trying to do. And what Ahmad does is he gets it and checks back. He never puts it in first time with his right foot. Yeah. Because he's not right-footed, and I just think we'd be so much more efficient, mate, if Dalot was on the right and Ahmad was on the left.
And that's nothing against Ahmad, because I think we're all it's finding the role for him in this team, and that's why I'm saying I was really, really surprised when I heard the news that Cunha had come through the door and Mbeumo, because we've already got, you know, the likes of Mason Mount, Bruno can play that. You know, you're looking and going, bloody hell, there's like about 5 or 6 players here that, you know, for them two positions. For me, the wing backs are going to become absolutely vital, and for the 2 10s to work properly, you need players that are going to be overlapping in this system and getting crosses in. And I think this is where the argument about Højlund all last season kicked into play. And it's not an issue with the system, it's the personnel that are playing it, because you're not getting crosses into the box. You know, yes, Dalot pulls that back today, we score the header for Seshko, but you need players in that position that are absolutely, like 100% this is my role up and down the pitch. Even more long term, I'm thinking if Martinez gets back into this team, if your back three is going to be Martinez, Yoro and De Ligt, who I thought was fantastic today as well, is it an option? I know you think that Luke Shaw's our best sort of centre-back, but that Luke Shaw could be that left-sided sort of wing-back in this system.
As long as he doesn't break down, it's the problem, innit? Running up and down all day.
Yeah. Well, no European football, no Carabao Cup football now, is it too much to ask?
Just on injuries, Ruben Amorim on Cunha and Mount, he put, I don't know, we will check them. We need those guys really bad to be competitive. He says that Cunha's hamstring problem may have been to do with him playing a full game in the middle of the week. With Mount, I was not risking another player. So with Mount, I think it might have been
precaution.
Just precaution.
No, I think it was.
Precaution, mate.
No, because I remember seeing Luke Shaw trying to get Amorim's attention, and he's pointing to his leg, but he's pointing over to Mount as well.
Yeah.
So he's pointing to his leg and he's pointing to Mount, and then literally we just scored as he did it, and then I think. Was it the half time? But Manu came on for him, or so, around the time. Anyway.
He's suggesting that Luke Shaw was telling him that Mount's pulled something in his leg.
He was pointing at
his leg. Or his own leg.
No, he's pointing to Mount.
Yeah.
And he's pointing at his leg.
Yeah.
And then when he scored, he ran over to him, and then he spoke. But then Mount stayed on for a little bit, and then I think at half time he came off.
I think with Mount, hopefully it's just maybe a niggle or something. He just didn't want to risk it. But for me, I thought he was one of our best players in the first half, so that's why I found it strange when he came off. So it must have been injury. Guys, I am going to have to talk a little bit about some issues that I have, and it was we should have scored more goals, but I thought in the second half Burnley put a lot more pressure on us, and they had a period in the game where I just don't think Ruben Amorim knew how to deal with it. We made multiple changes, and I don't really think any of Amorim's changes made a big difference. I think a lot of his changes were mistimed, and I didn't really think impacted the game in a massive way at all. Burnley continued their press, and we couldn't get around it.
Yeah.
At times.
It's something he needs to work out. I keep reading all the comments. I'm listening to shows on the United stand, listening to United fans talking, and everybody's saying it's the system. Again, I don't necessarily think it is. I just think if you're going to play that, you need the specialists in the areas. So for me, the one glaring thing, and even pre-season, when I seen the signings coming through the door, I'm looking and I'm thinking, right, all right, you just signed Mbeumo and Cunha. I'm like, well, where does Bruno fit in it? I think we all know it's right, he's going to be a 6 or an 8 or whatever. And he quite clearly is not. You just mentioned we get cut open like butter. It doesn't matter who it is, whether it's Grimsby from Division 2, whether it's Burnley who've just come up from the Championship. We will get cut open in that midfield. And that is because most teams will play the 3 in there. So you're outnumbered big time, and that my concern at the minute. I'm certainly Bruno got the match winner today, but I would say I've got no issue with him being a number 10. You need 2 players in there that have got legs. Now Bruno is the kind of wrong side of 30 now. He's not going to get it any quicker, and we're persisting with playing a Casemiro in alongside him, and whoever plays in alongside the Casemiro, the Ugarte, it's always going to be Bruno, but you are leaving them highly, highly exposed. When you see Bruno heading off and thinking he's got his cape on, I'm Superman, I'm taking the game by the scruff of the neck, it's fine when you're in the 10. Fair enough, you can go and press left, right, whatever. When you're doing it from that position, the system just fails massively.
Did you see how deep Cobby was staying and how many
Disciplined
backwards passes he was making because he was scared for his life to be left on his own?
Discipline. I've seen it so many times. You have to be disciplined in that role. I keep saying about this heat map against Arsenal. All United fans were buzzing. Do you see Bruno's heat map for the Arsenal game? And I'm like, it was literally the whole pitch. But I'm like, is that what you want? I'm like, left wing, left back, right back. He doesn't have to do that. There's other players in this system that can cover that. He's just on a mad one.
Do you know what for me as well was frustrating is in the second half when Casemiro came off. For me, I'm like, we should have taken a centre back off and had 3 midfielders. That's what it should have been.
Never happened.
like because what you have 3 centre backs, which by the way I've seen it because when you watch it at Old Trafford you see it more. Amorim is constantly telling the 3 centre backs to move up. but because they're scared and they're not used to the system, they're sitting deep, and it's like they're caught in halfway house. So then we get when they break upon us, there's no midfield. And the centre-backs are too deep and we just get bypassed and they can counter on us so quick. Amorim basically wants the centre-backs playing as the midfielders and the midfielders high up the pitch and pressing the life out the opposition, but the team can't do it, which is why system's failing. And then when he takes off Casemiro, you've got Manu and Bruno there that, I'm sorry, it's just they're never going to be able to comprehend with what they're throwing at us trying to win a game. And then you've got 3 centre-backs that are having to take on the counter-attack. Luckily, we managed to get through that, but I genuinely think if you would have kept Casemiro on and brought a centre-back off and had 3 midfielders instead, you would have been in a better position.
It's almost just common sense. Like it's almost, at one point I was watching the game and we were in possession and it was literally basically like front 5. We had Dalot, who was very far wide on the left. Ahmad was far wide on the right. Then obviously you had Mbeumo and Cunha and was it
Zirkzee?
Yeah, I think it was Zirkzee or Mount, whoever it was, as kind of like the front 3. And then just in front of them or behind them was Bruno and I think Casemiro, and they had the back 3. And I just thought, all it takes is for us to lose possession once, because Bruno was all over the pitch. All it takes is for us to just lose possession once, and it's the easiest counter-attack in the world, because they're literally having to play, I don't know, it would be outnumbered by whoever they have going forward. So it just didn't, just from looking at it, just from like being, obviously I was pretty high up, just from looking at it, it's like, this doesn't make sense. Like, it's like we're trying to play a style of football which isn't comprehensible in the Premier League, because the players in the Premier League, I know people were like, it is Burnley, but they're still good players. It doesn't take a lot for a Burnley player to go and score, because it didn't take a lot for them to go and score.
I'm not being funny, they were a whisker offside, if that.
Yeah.
And do you know what that came from? That came from Bruno just smacking the ball at a player and they counter-attacked on us, and he was a whisker offside. And that's what happens, right? And I'm not just blaming Bruno, because other players give it away today. Multiple players give it away. Like, I actually thought Bruno had a pretty good game today, better than his start to the season. I thought he was pretty good. But he gave it away in that area. We've done it multiple times. The problem is not giving it away, because people do that. You want to do it less and less and less. But when they break on us, there's nobody there apart from the centre-backs that are already too deep.
Yeah, and all it takes is for them to get, I don't know, one of them to dive in, like maybe a Luke Shaw or like a Euro to dive in and miss the ball. And all of a sudden we've got 2 centre-backs and like 5 of their attackers just counter-attacking us. So like, it just doesn't, I just don't understand it. And even in terms of, we spoke about like before earlier, you speaking about like the players and where each player is playing. At one point I looked on the pitch and I just thought, we said it on the build-up show, who is playing in their position? Dalot wasn't. Like, Dalot was not a left wing back. We had Bruno, he's obviously not a 6. We had I don't know if Mbeumo was playing as a right 10 or he was playing as like a focal striker almost, but he was like the first player forward. We spoke about even Cunha having to run back and Mount having to run back. Why do you think they have to constantly run back? Because they're supposed to be playing as 10s, as attacking players, but they're constantly having to run back to fill in the midfield that's empty. So that's causing them to have to do way more legwork than they probably should have to do. And then you've got Ahmad, who's playing as a right wing back, but then again, he's not having to kind of hold back his game a little bit in terms of trying to play with Mbeumo, because there were times where like Ahmad was on the right wing, you mentioned before, they're both kind of trying to do the same thing. Ahmad wants to be a right winger, but he's having to kind of play as, I don't even know, like as a right wing back, because he's trying to fill in for or trying to complement what Mbeumo's trying to do, and it's not complementing each other as well as it probably should do or it could do anyway. So we've got a bunch of players on the pitch playing in the wrong position, and then we're confused or we're not getting the best out of them.
Square pegs, round holes. That's exactly what it is. And like you say as well, players getting in each other's way. You know, I was horrified watching against a League 2 side like Grimsby. Professional footballers who are getting paid like hundreds of thousands of pounds a week, getting into each other. You know, you're like, we not be drilled on this. They're literally running into each other and getting in each other's way. And I'm like, this is unbelievable, man.
Yeah, I still think, like I said, it's Burnley, not Barcelona. We just need to. I'd be happy with the 3 points. It's a relief, but I still think Amorim's got a lot of work to do with that team, and let's hope that gives us the confidence to build upon. I mean, we've got City and Chelsea coming up. Again, football changes very quickly. You get results there, and
it's not changed in 45 games at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to be positive, Mordzs.
I've been trying to be positive, but it's
what I think is positive is I think Cunha is a very good player. I was gutted when he got injured, and I think Mbeumo is.
He's a baller.
He's top. I think he's our best player already.
Possibly.
Genuinely.
Who?
Mbeumo, you're going to say Luke Shaw,
Better
aren't
than
you?
Luke Shaw.
And Mbeumo is very, very
He's
good.
very, very good. Very,
Very,
good.
very good.
He's
His
one
touch
player.
as well and how quick he is.
The last couple of
he's
years,
class.
you know, when you watch United games and you see an opposition player against you, even last season, he absolutely destroyed us, Mbeumo. And I remember we were sat in here, and after we all kind of looked at each other and went, he's class.
I said when I was in the game, I said, Mbeumo's surely going to score today, because he's been in my FPL for Brentford for the last few seasons. I went, Mbeumo's surely going to score today, because my friend next to me had him in, and I went, this is probably the longest drought he's been on, and it's in a United shirt. Next thing you know, he scores, because last year it felt like every single game he was just scoring. It's not just the goals, obviously his touch, his intelligence, the space he gets into, his pace, everything. He's just class. But I'm so glad he's off the mark, because I feel like he'll get the ball rolling now, because he's...
The goal midweek I thought was absolutely brilliant. You know, to see him carry it. And the one thing you talk about football intelligence, he's got his head up. The way that he uses the defender midweek against Grimsby, and he bends the ball, he passes the ball into the net. It makes it look so much easier. And I know, I think you were mentioning before, but even like the build-up play today, the fact that even my lad at the time said, why didn't Mbeumo shoot there today? But, do you know what I mean? He's that selfless. He kind of looks at it, he's not greedy.
Yeah.
This is the situations, right, where in the past, the likes of a Garnacho, see you later.
He's just officially
Rashford,
joined Chelsea, actually.
of course he has, right. Yeah, good riddance. Rashford, Anthony, whoever it was, would have got into that position and actually shot. Mbeumo is that switched on. He knew that the easy chance was for Ahmad. That's not on Mbeumo, that cuts the ball back across. Yeah, he could have shot. Possibly, he might have scored.
The
He
pass was
puts
just
it
a bit
on
wobbly.
a little
It
bit.
was.
Should have been along the floor.
If you
I
want
like the
bit of
fact he
tap
thought
in.
to do it,
He's
though.
right, though,
He's
yeah,
thought,
yeah.
I'm going to play this back across goal. It's like that kind of total football thing where you walk the ball into the net. Ahmad, yes, he gets it wrong, puts it into a shot for them, but I like that, because football is so much easier when you make the right decisions in the right moments. And for me, that was at that time.
Yeah, I mean, just to come in on that, because as we've got one fantastic new signing lining up in Mbeumo, you've got one player leaving. So just in officially from Manchester United and Chelsea, Alejandro Garnacho has completed a permanent move to Chelsea, £40 million on a deal until 2032. And also a few more quotes from Ruben Amorim.
7 years.
Yeah, I know, 7-year deal.
7-year contract.
Yeah. Ruben Amorim got asked on whether he will speak to the board about signings in the next couple of days. He said, I am always speaking with them and trying to improve the team. To me, that's a hint at get me some more signings,
I was going to say,
please.
you've not got long now, have you, really? What is it now? Saturday, so what's the deadline? Monday?
I swear to God. One thing I will say, please sign a goalkeeper, please.
No.
I mean, we need a midfielder as well, but I'm sick of seeing blunder after blunder after blunder. How we've still not signed a goalkeeper is beyond me. And if Ruben Amorim is going to speak with the board about new signings coming in, knock on there and say, please just sign me a keeper.
Yeah, it can't get worse. That's my thing. It genuinely can't. At least with the midfield.
No, it will. If we persist with Binder or
if we get a new goalkeeper,
it
it can't get worse. 'Cause at least with the midfield, it's like you can almost get away with it sometimes. You know, like our players are not terrible. You know what I mean? They're not absolutely horrible. You know, Bruno can play well. Casemiro can play well. We have players that can do something, but with the goalkeeper, it's been every game so far this season. Every single game we played, there's been a mistake from the keeper, and I don't even know if I need to watch it back again. I don't even know exactly what even happened, but it just looked messy. Like, you know, like it doesn't look it didn't look confident. Like it didn't look like Bayern knew what was going on. There's even a point where you mentioned it.
Did you see that?
Where he's run out to collect the ball to like slide
slid
and
out
claim,
the box.
claim it,
Bounced off
bounced
out of the box.
and bounced out the box. I was thinking, oh, like any team that was a bit more like urgent and they had a player who was kind of expecting it, they would have scored easily, very easy. He was like 18 yards out away from the net. But like, and in terms of like obviously Sonny Lamin's a player that obviously we're linked to. I don't know how good he is. Never seen him play a full game. I feel like with keepers, you have to watch them play a full game to know how good they are. But I don't think it can be worse than this. I don't think we can bring in a keeper that's going to make as many mistakes as the keepers that we have right now.
Yeah. I think that was Anana's last game on Wednesday. You know, I'm absolutely. I was finished with him anyway. But when I heard his name in on the team sheet, I'm thinking, right, last chance. You know, it's like being with a girl or whatever, and you go, right, let's try and give it a go. But after Wednesday, I was like, nah. You are proper getting on my nerves, man. Just do one. I'm not having
the
it.
ick.
Yeah, I'm out. Yeah. I changed my Facebook status to it's not even complicated. It's just over.
It's over.
It's done, man.
Ended.
No chance.
Yeah, I think we can all agree. You massively need a keeper. And I'll go and say again, if we do not sign a keeper,
right, the season off.
Prepare yourselves.
Yeah.
And I would even say that is the Manchester United hierarchy in the board, writing the season off. They have to sign a keeper. I'm sorry, you cannot watch our start to the season and not sign a keeper. I have my question marks about Ruben Amorim. I want it to work really badly, but the system isn't filling me with too much hope, and the results are poor. You can't avoid that. But what I said today, a few people saying to me in the crowd, do you think he's going to go? Do you think he should go? I said, look, I want him to stay for now because I want to give him a chance. But I said, I am not going to judge him until they sign a keeper. Because, a keeper that is constantly got a mistake in him and constantly making mistakes, whether that be Onana or Binder, because they've both done it, it puts so much pressure onto your whole team, and it puts the fear in your back line. I don't think you can fully judge Amorim until he has a keeper. And I know we keep making excuses.
It is. It's such a vital part of the team.
It really is, because you can afford to have a few mistakes if your keeper can mop up for you. But our keepers actually put pressure on us. Like that Bayern one of palming it back out, it was terrible. Him off corners being blown over by the wind, terrible. Onana, I mean, Jesus, like his performances have just been terrible as well. And the team know that. We know that. The team know that. There's pressure there.
Teams are actually targeting us now, and it's at that ridiculous stage. Like by end of today, I was like, don't give any fouls away in and around the box. Don't try not to give any corners away. And when we did, you knew exactly what was coming. It was reminiscent of David De Gea's first game. Was it Stoke away? And he had a torrid time. And I mean, they just targeted him, and every single corner, everything, long ball, pump it into him, because he wasn't the goalkeeper that he became. But that is such a vital part of the team. You look back, I mean, the last great at Manchester United was Edwin van der Sar. Before that, it was Peter Schmeichel.
De Gea was pretty good.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I did just mention De Gea. I mean, just like before this, obviously De Gea was. Beth's looking at me now going, don't bring this up.
He was.
So De Gea, Van der Sar and Schmeichel, you're going back to like 92 there, and I've named 3 top goalkeepers. You look at the shite in between that. You are looking at Mark Bosnich, you're looking at Taibbi, you're looking at Tim Howard, Roy Carroll. It took us about 5 or 6 keepers before we got Edwin van der Sar, and that breeds so much positivity from the back. You need a strong keeper. You're not telling me like the back 3 at this moment in time are looking at Binder or Onana and thinking, I'm not passing. It would be in your head. I'm not giving even if the keeper goes, give it me. You'd be like, no. I'm not.
What I agree. I do think I 100% agree. Actually, I do think we definitely need a goalkeeper. But I will say it's a bit of not to be a party people, but it's a little bit of an excuse to say you're not going to judge Amorim based on the keeper.
I mean,
a little bit of a point.
Well, the thing is, I can judge him because I have judged him, as you all know. But I will judge him, but I don't think he should be got rid of or sacked before we've had an actual decent keeper.
That's fair enough. No, I completely hear that, because at the end of the day, you're right. Even the Arsenal game wouldn't have been that result if it wasn't for the keeper. The Grimsby game, terrible anyway.
What about Bruno? Ain't Bruno going to cost him his job? Because he keeps playing. No, seriously though. Playing him as a number 6, shoehorning him into the team. And he's giving the ball away. You mentioned today, give a ball away that could have led to a goal. I believe the goal against Arsenal was more Bruno's fault than the keeper's fault, because we know how dangerous Arsenal are on set pieces, and Bruno's fiddling about with the ball in his own box, which leads to a corner. Just don't give corners away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
that has to be the team talk.
If Bruno would have launched that ball into the stand instead of, he tried to take a touch and it bounced about 4 foot off him. Then he recovered it and he played a bit of a sloppy pass to Yoro. Arsenal nicked it, tried to cross it, they got a corner. From that corner he scored. There's no need for him to have that corner. If Bruno, I know it's a big if he'd have just booted the ball into the stand because he was in his own box, maybe we'd have got a draw out of that game. They don't get that corner, they don't get that goal. I know they could score a different goal, but maybe we would have got a point out of that game if he would have just done his job. Bruno, never mind the keeper.
You could say, you just said, well, Bruno cost him his job. or is Amorim going to cost himself the job?
Yeah.
He makes the decision to play Bruno in this 8-6, whatever it is, in this system. At the end of the day, it does. The buck does stop with the manager, but at the same time, you can look on Wednesday night when poor old Ruben sat in his dugout, you know, all the memes or whatever, he's got his little tactic board out. He must have been pulling his hair out. You know, that is not his fault that Andre Onana jumps out and tries punching a ball with his eyes shut. You know, the first one, he's down about 10 minutes after. In the penalty shootout, he's punching balls into the net. You know, it's almost like, I said at the time, I'm like looking and thinking, this guy needs investigating for match fixing. It is the only explanation I have, because he is that bad. He is literally the worst keeper I've ever seen at Manchester United. Yeah. I've seen a lot.
I agree.
Can I just say a big thank you to Kevin Broderick, my mate's lad. He sent me a message saying, I agree with you. We look better balanced going forward after Zirkzee came on. So there's one person in my court. Thank you,
That's
Kevin.
why he's your mate.
Thank you, Kevin.
I do think Zirkzee, I thought had some good moments, but he just needs to be a bit quicker, a bit more on his heels for me. But I do think he links up the play well. I mean, let's bring some super chats in because there's loads coming in. And also, bit of good news is there's a video here that I'm watching that Cunha is walking normally leaving Old Trafford. Walking very normally, so fingers crossed it's not too bad. Usually if you've proper pulled up, you've got a bit of a limp, haven't you? So,
and an international break now as well, so...
I beg he is fit. I beg he is. Adira Darshan says, it's refreshing to see our right wing come alive with Mbeumo. An amazing player indeed. So is Cunha, two very good signings. I also love Sesko's first glimpses of what he can do when he gets the ball. The Moose one says, are we a one-trick pony? I mean, we only play one system with one formation. I don't see any adaptability during the game besides substitutions. The other teams feel comfortable because it's the same play over and over again. I don't know anymore. Lottie Lane says the players square pegs for any system. Rionel Diaz says Sesko is a danger in the box, but they ignore him. I do think his two little headers, even though they weren't amazing, was a good sign of what's to come, hopefully. Nicky Dean says we need a centre mid and a goalkeeper. Energy was there. Sesko will come good. More wins, more confidence. Buy two more. K7 says thoughts on Mason Mount and Bruno to swap positions. Won't be against it. Pengus 92 says Ahmad is really just Garnacho with 5% less selfishness. Don't agree. Don't agree at all. I think Ahmad's better than Garnacho.
Miles better. Miles better.
PK said a bit of perspective. Burnley odds to be relegated 1 out of 3. Man United are 40-1. I am not saying we will get relegated, but did we really see Man United with 30 times better than Burnley? Mario Cabrera says, I think we are being harsh. We aren't creating chances. We had a ton of shots today. During Ten Hag's last Ollie era, we'd go to games without a shot on target. I remember under Ten Hag, everyone kept saying, oh, we keep having loads of chances, we just can't finish. Big Mal says, big win, but finishing really needs improving. Should have won the game in the first half, like Fulham, with Cunha's 2 chances and Bruno's pen and Arsenal. Andreas Goose says, Zirkzee has slow reaction. Zirkzee, Mount, Ahmad was a pen. Jordan B says, problem under Ten Hag was we didn't have 2 strikers and had to play a false 9. Amorim would rather play a false 9 and sell our backup, same boat. Paul O'Brien says, I think Amorim is terrified of losing a select few players as he knows our backup players are muck. This is why he's protecting the small few too much. Honk the Trumpet says, Amorim doesn't trust the legs in midfield. I've done that one. Thank you everyone for getting your super chats in. Amazing comments, amazing live chat. Smash a like on the video if you've not already. First win of the season. Let's get positive. First win of the season. But we do have to play better. I mean, we've got an international break now. When we get back, it is Manchester City away at the Etihad. I'll start with you, Mordzs. What does Amorim need to do in this break to get his team ready to compete in that game? And do you think United have a good chance in it?
I always think United got a good chance against City because, I mean, we beat them in the final.
You're a pet hater.
Why not? Yeah, I'm a pet hater as well. So both
Pep Fraudiola.
Pep Fraudiola, you would never win a trophy against Man City. I've said it 100 times. So, yeah, I think we will always...
That curse is still on him, isn't it, that you put on? I think he might be on to me, to be fair. I think in general,
these kind of big games, we see it all the time. Like we turn up against City, we turn up against Arsenal, we might turn up against Liverpool. We've done it multiple times for me to be able to say, you know what, we've always got a chance. Like I'm never going to say we don't have a chance. We always have a chance. However, just looking at the two teams, City obviously far better than United right now. And they did lose against Spurs, a bit of a bogey team for them. But I think in general, even looking at what I'm watching the Wolves game, they do obviously play a lot better than United are right now. In terms of what Amorim can do, I mean, we're not going to change anything in 2 weeks. Like, if we're being realistic, we're not going to have any major changes over the next 2 weeks. I just kind of hope that what we did do earlier on in this game, we just convert them. And I know I said that right at the start of the show before, but if we can convert these chances, because I think we do have very, very talented players, and that's what's a bit frustrating for me. People like get onto the players a lot, and I think we actually have talented players. Like you wouldn't get, if I said to you right now, which players would you get rid of? I could probably name to you at least 10, 11, 12 players that you wouldn't get rid of in this team because you think that they're good players or good enough to play for United. So we have the talent, well, for the most part, we've got the talent. It's just getting them to play their best. How can we get these guys to put in the best performances and get them the most comfortable and get them to play the best together to be able to see off games and score goals and obviously not concede. So I think we can beat City at the end of the day. That's my final point. We can beat City. I wouldn't surprise me. We actually went there and actually played well and won the game. But after that game, now let's see. Well, we have Chelsea next, to be fair. But after those games, let's see how we start doing against the mid-table teams, the Forests and the Brentfords and Wolves, and let's see how we do against them to actually.
I do agree with you, but let's take it one step at a time, Mordzs. Let's see how we do against City.
Yes, I'm saying, let's see how we do against City, but we can go there and
they're
play
the games. For some reason, this team, whether it's mentality, whatever it is. Last season is a classic example. We go to Liverpool, what was it? Draw 2-2 at Anfield.
Beat Arsenal.
We beat Arsenal, FA Cup. We beat City at the Etihad, Ahmad last. And they seem to be able to get up for them games. Now it's the games like today. Yes, we have won it. It wasn't great on the eye. The likes of Fulham last week as well, where you look at, well, again, we did play well against Arsenal. We lost that game. Didn't play well against Fulham. We get a draw, and today it's all right.
Can I give you the positive outlook?
Go on.
We were watching the game in a bar in Spain last week, weren't we? The Fulham game. And there were some young lads in the bar before the game. They said to me, what do you think is going to happen? I said, I fancy a 2-2 draw. It finished a 1-1 draw. And they said to me, a draw? Do you not think we're better than Fulham? I said, I didn't say we're not better than Fulham. I just fancy it. I just don't think you're giving Fulham the credit that they deserve. I said to them, they're a good team at home and they take a bit of beating. And, a draw won't be a bad result. So I look back at last season's results for Fulham at home. They beat Liverpool at home, they drew at home with Arsenal. So why do people think that we should go there and beat them? We're not Liverpool. I know we're Man United, but on the field, we're not Liverpool or Arsenal, are we?
Yeah.
Why should we go there and win when they can't go there?
What you are, Ricky, is a wise man. Because you use your head and not your heart. Whereas today, I woke up this morning and when it was like, score prediction, Kev, I was like, 4-0 United.
So
let's have it.
What I was going to say was, I think, this is the positivity coming out now, when I looked at the first three fixtures, Arsenal at home, Fulham, look, you don't want it to be like this.
What did you think we get from them first three?
I thought we'd do okay to get 4 points, and we've got 4 points.
What, the first three games?
Yeah, because Arsenal.
Oh, yeah.
That's your positivity.
Let me ask you this. How many points do you think we get out of City and Chelsea?
Another 4.
I think we win one.
I'll take that.
I think we'll
win one, draw one.
I'll bite your hand off for it, but I think we can win. I think we can win one and draw one, definitely.
I think we'll beat City.
I think we might have stepped up a little bit today. And I'll tell you something else, Mazraoui back in the fold.
Oh, that's a
big
positive.
bonus.
Mazraoui.
Big bonus.
Do you think he'll displace Euro?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely I do.
I think Euro's been playing well. I think Delit and Shaw have been creating a really good partnership as well.
I think Mazraoui will play in the Manchester derby. I think it's that much difference.
Well, this is what I wanted to end on, actually. I wanted to end on this to go round. I'm praying Cunha's fit for the derby because he's the type of player you want playing in a derby.
A bit of aggression.
If, let's say, everybody is fit, do you go for that lineup or do you change it?
Today?
From today?
If everyone is fit. I'm just going to assume they are because we don't actually know. We've got an international break. Do you make any changes to that lineup we've just seen for the derby?
It's just Dallo, in my opinion. Like, he's just a one player that, like, he gets you got the assist.
We haven't got anybody better.
That's the problem.
This is what I always had this with Matt Tominey, with you all. You know, we didn't have anybody better. You know, you have to accept it. We have not got a better fullback than Diego Dalot. When we get one, I'll go right, fine. But we haven't got a better one. I
don't know. Like, I just rather play Dorgu. In my opinion, I just rather play Dorgu. Like,
he won't play Dorgu.
I don't think he will.
Dorgu's like a bull in a china shop.
He's not that bad. Like, Dorgu's not that bad, but
I'm a bit unconvinced.
I'm
not writing him off
because
because it's early on in his career, but from what I've seen so far, I do look and I think, and this is a player that Amorim signed as well. You know, it's one of his signings. But I know last season when he first come in, we were all like, I think we were just all excited because, for starters, he could run. No, but fitness-wise, we were like, he looked fitter than everybody else, but that was probably...
He's left-footed and he's fast, that's all he's got going for him.
Yeah, at this moment. Like I say, I'm not writing him off, but the eye test, like Ricky would say, you know, on the eye, from what I've seen so far.
So you think Dalot has done better since he's been playing the season?
Dalot's just a better player. He's calmer, he's cooler, he's got a better touch.
Position, as a left wing back,
bit erratic,
he picks a better pass.
I think Dalot...
As a left wing back,
a better pass.
I think he's made so many mistakes already.
He has, but I can't tell you how poor Dorgu's been. I'll tell you now. Yeah. Dalot will play in the Manchester derby.
Yeah, he will.
I'm not 100% certain whether he will go with Ahmad and Dalot or he might go with Dalot and Dorgu. But Dalot is nailed on playing.
Is that because of you, or do you think of that because of Amorim?
That's what he'll do.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I think it's right.
And I think I would go with it.
Right.
Even though
the goal today,
even though the goal today, we conceded he was sleeping, and even though I agree, I don't think he's great. Or he hasn't been great.
He's just proper steady. He's a proper steady Eddie.
What I do think
but we need one or two steady Eddies.
I'm more comfortable with him playing right now than Dorgu, just because he's more comfortable right now. That's all, and he's got a better first touch.
Is he though? Like, you keep saying this, but the Fulham game wasn't it because he tried to do like a little half turn in
don't get me wrong.
Right, okay.
It's still not like I'm not looking at the starting 11 and saying Dalot has to play. Yes, so buzzing Dalot's playing, but I agree with Ricky. I've as much as I thought he was really good in pre-season, Dorgu has not started the season particularly well for me, and when he gets put under any sort of pressure, his touch isn't good enough, and Dallow's at least got a good touch.
Best of the bad bunch.
Why do we keep? Are we just saying that because it's Dalot, or are we actually like looking at the games? Because when we look at the actual games, he lost the ball multiple times today. And I mentioned before the Fulham game, his touch was the reason why we conceded. And today the goal, like I said, he was sleeping. This whole Dalot defensively.
But in return.
No, I said fair enough. He got the assist, and I'm not even gonna.
It was a good cross.
I'm not gonna take that away from him. But
Dorgu's not been putting enough good crosses.
Dalot might only be, I don't know, a 5 or a 6 out of 10 every week. Dorgu's a 3 or a 4. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that.
If you haven't got faith in Dorgu, I don't see how you can have faith in Dalot, because to me he doesn't put confidence in him.
Well, I promise you, Dalot will play more. I told you this when we did our pre-season. I also told you Yoro won't play as often as you think he's going to play, and he's going to lose his place to Mazraoui now. You watch.
Fair enough.
You watch.
Got Martinez coming back as well at some stage.
One thing I will say, Ricky, is I do think Yoro's a good player.
He's a good player.
I think you're too harsh on him. I think you are.
I'm not saying he's not a good player though. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I think Mazraoui's better.
Mazraoui is good. Mazraoui's
better.
Some soup. I tell you what, the one change I would make. Lemons in for Bayern Day. Thank you very much.
If we can get
100%.
Get the keeper in ASAP and start him. No messing about.
Throw him into the Manchester derby in the cauldron.
Yeah. Please.
I would play Fred the Red in net rather than either of them now. I'm done.
On the Mazraoui Yoro thing, by the way, was Yoro injured or did he take him off to strengthen our team? What was the? I think he wants to strengthen the team, mate.
Do you think? I thought he was trying to get Mazraoui a few minutes because he wants to play him in the derby.
Well, either way, then it's the same thing.
He's another steady Eddie, as Ricky would say, isn't he, Mazraoui?
Super chats. Dab says in 3-4-3 need top level wing backs, not converted fullback and wingers, plus 2 Kante in the centre mid. But we brought in number 10, Suffer in the system. Dab, I think that's a brilliant shout. And what I will say is, the more the season has gone on, the more I've realised. And again, it's not my job to do this. I'm just a fan. We like to talk football, but we're not the recruitment team. We had to get wing backs, and again, I hope Dorgu comes good. But when you buy Dorgu for around 30 mil and 8 Norries right there, it's just like, oh.
super chat
on
the evening.
on that little balancing act about the defenders and the wing backs next week. It's not impossible that Mazraoui could play right wing back, Dalot could play left wing back, and Yoro might still play. You know, Mazraoui does play wing back, doesn't he, as well? But I prefer him as a centre back, don't you?
Yeah, I do as well.
Yeah. Versatile though.
Mazraoui, he's back, Kev,
Here he
because
is.
you're back.
Just on time.
Nothing better than seeing beautiful Beth, tall and sophisticated Mordzs, grumpy Ricky on a match day. It's not grumpy. And more importantly, my handsome Kev.
Thank you very much.
My handsome King
Kev, I was going to say. Yeah.
Get it right, Beth. The Moose says, watching them not score with so many chances like having... I'm not reading that out. I'm not reading that out. You can imagine the embarrassment. We can still do top 6. Carlo Montana says, Lamens is 100% sure done. Antwerp aren't playing him. Matey Boy says, my effing manager, GGMU. And thank you everyone for your chats coming in. Smash a like on the video. We're about to go into the international break. We've got our first win of the season, thank God. I was having voice notes sent to me by City fans before this game saying, if you don't walk out of Old Trafford with 3 points, just don't even bother looking at anything, because Anyway, we've done it.
This international break couldn't come at a worse time. We were on a roll, man. We just won a game. Bring on the momentum. We need to play somebody else. Never mind the international break.
We're going to finish it on man of the match. Ricky, I'll start with you.
Luke Shaw. Hands down. And Mbeumo runs in close, but there's nobody else.
Okay, Mordzs.
Yeah, I was going to say Mbeumo.
Brian Mbeumo, Arsenal called and he said no.
Yeah.
I'm going to Manchester because Ruben's Reds are better. I've showcased that song on the Countdown to Kickoff.
Yeah, let me ask you the question.
Bit of Wenger boys.
Yeah, put this to the group. Have we got 2 minutes? I'll put this to the people.
Go on, Ricky.
Put it to the people.
Put it to the people. If I give you 3 a choice now,
yep,
you can have prime Wayne Rooney and prime Ronaldo to add to this team.
To this current setup.
Team. Or you can have prime Jaap Stam and prime Rio Ferdinand. Who would you have?
Who?
Rooney and Ronaldo, Jaap Stam and Rio Ferdinand.
That's tough.
Most people go with the forwards. I'll go with the defenders. Like Fergie used to say, forwards win games, defenders win titles. And that's why Luke Shaw's man of the match. Not that he wins titles, the team's not good enough to win titles, but he's easily the best player who just happens to be a defender.
I'd probably go Rooney and Ronaldo.
I was going to say...
We'd have a better team if you went with Stam and Ferdinand. We'd much harder to beat, solid. We'll press forward more, we'll keep the ball more, we'll just play better. You get your defence right, you start from there.
It's an Arteta answer, that.
Yeah.
No, I think Rooney.
Prime Ronaldo was
everybody's going to do that, but
he was literally the greatest player on the planet, arguably at that time. Carried us that season, scored 40 plus goals, was absolutely insane.
Who was in defence, Kev?
I know.
Look at our defence now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
if we had 2 top players like that, people always. I was having a row with a Liverpool fan. A Liverpool fan said to me the other week, Mo Salah must be the best player who's ever graced the Premier League. I said, he's not the best player in your team. They went, what? I said, Van Dijk's the best player in your team. If they haven't got Van Dijk, they will collapse. They won't collapse if they haven't got Salah.
You need that balance.
Do you think if Rooney and Ronaldo played in this team with Luke Shaw as a defender, they'd win?
If we had Rooney and Ronaldo, obviously we'd get more goals, we'd get more chances. Of course we would. But like today, we've had to score 3 just to beat Burnley. We're letting too many goals in.
Yeah, but that's key. Well, tell you what, I think a keeper's a big issue. If you give me Schmeichel and either Stam or Ferdinand, then I'll take it maybe.
Yeah.
Another keeper.
Even now, at whatever age they are, 50, I'll take Schmeichel back.
Yeah.
All's forgotten, playing for City and all that, and doing a cartwheel at Main Road. Just bring him back, stick him in the net. Can't be any worse than what we've got.
Quickly, before we wrap up, Rob McCormack asked, do we all agree the same front line as today?
Yeah.
For the derby, same front line.
What was it? Mount and Kuna and Mbeumo. Is Kuna going to be fit?
Yeah, it depends on
if they're
fitness,
fit,
doesn't it?
yeah.
I would say yeah.
If they're fit, yeah.
Yeah, Mount's work rate's going to be vital.
I agree. Christine C says, back the manager for a few seasons. They get rid of crap players, but for the club, we need a midfielder and a goalkeeper, and at least Erik ten Hag made a lot of bad signings. At least sells back. I think you're saying Amorim's not done that, is what you're trying to say. But anyway, thank you everyone for watching. Gone slightly over there, but you know, when you get a win as good as that one, you can't stop talking about it.
What a day.
Thank you guys for joining. Ricky, Mordzs, Kev, it's been a pleasure. And I'm sure we'll be in and around the international break. But until the next one, which is the big derby, enjoy everyone. We'll see you next time.